All right, at this point, you have added these slots to the side of your car. And now we're going to modify the base that you previously designed so that it can fit into this slot right here, this long horizontal slot. That's where the base is going to connect. So we need to add a tab to the base that looks like this. Well, let's do it. Oh yeah, you can see it right here. This little piece that sticks out was not originally on either side of our base. We're going to add that right now. So here we go. Let's take a look at the sketch. Let's jump in. Sorry. Let's right click, edit. So we're going to need some numbers here. So the distance of this piece, the length of this piece, is the length of the tab that's going to stick out of the base. It's not super obvious how big that is, so I'm going to measure from here. Well, sorry, let me do that the way you would do it. Let's see. I would measure from the left corner to the right corner, and it just so happens that it was 2.984. Now that's kind of a random number. You can round off or whatnot, but I actually would try to keep it as exact as possible because this dimension is based on the distance from here to here. So 2.984. So that's how big our tab is going to be. So let's go ahead and draw that, and then we'll locate it. So let's say we've got our base, original base, something like this, right? So now the first thing you want to do is actually take off this dimension right here. Okay, I'm going to delete it. And the reason why is because the size of your base is most likely going to change. Okay, now I'm going to draw those tabs sticking out using the line tool. Click, come out, click down, come out. Okay, don't worry exactly. Don't worry about if it's exact or not. I'm going to use this little. Notice I came over here so that I'm horizontally aligned. So if I dimension one, the other one should be the same. I can do that trick here too. Nice little trick. Okay, and now we want to delete this line on the inside because, or trim the line on the inside, or else the laser will cut this. So trim that part and trim that part. If you notice this skinny line left over, that's like a dimension or extension line, so don't worry about that. But I noticed this little piece is sticking out. Okay. I know sometimes people don't like these little holes. You can right click on that and delete it. All right, how much does this tab stick out? This length of this piece right here is 0.125, just enough to stick into the side piece. Okay, so let's do that on both sides. 125 thousandths of an inch. And we said the length of this tab right here needs to be, I believe it was 2.984. Let's check. 2.984. That's how long this slot is. 2.984. You might want to write it down. So now I'm going to get my dimension tool and I'm going to click, drag 2.984. Oops. Okay. So that says how long it is, but not where it is. So notice if this dot is blue, right here, I can still grab it, and I don't know where this slot needs to go. So what you need to do is find where your axle is going to go, and we're going to use the axle as a reference. Now this slot right here is where the axle holder is going to go. So the center is where the axle is going to go. You notice I put a little dot right here. Okay, let me show you how I did that. I'll do it on this one, on this side. So let's move this dimension out of the way. This dot is going to represent the center of this orange highlighted line, and that's going to be where the axle passes through the axle holder. So we're going to turn on this little tool called Point. And if you just hover near the center of this line, you'll see that little square pop up. Click. and it places it right in the center for you. You don't even have to dimension it. Okay, that is going to be our reference point. So that's where the axle is going to be, right? The axle is going to be along this line from here to here, if you can use your imagination. And we're going to measure the distance from the axle to the tab in this picture right here. So I already have it. This is the dimension. Let's turn it off. Let's delete it and redo it. So on yours, you're going to get your dimension tool. You'll click on the center of where the wheel is going to go. That's going to be the axle. And then click on the front face or one of the front corners of your slot. And you'll come like that, come up, and we need that horizontal dimension. Mine is 1.315. So that's the dimension that I'm going to put on the base drawing. So I come over here and I put my dimension tool and I go from here to the beginning of the tab. And it was 1.315. Enter. Okay, and that is going to locate the tab for us. Now, the reason why it hasn't turned black, let's see if we can figure that out. Let's zoom in. I'm going to hit escape to turn off all my tools. I'm going to try to drag this guy right here. Okay, I was able to drag it out. So something weird kind of happened when I drew it. I don't need this line right here. I'm going to trim it. And I'm going to use the coincident tool to connect this point to this point. Okay, that looks better.